Okay, so yeah, here we go. Starting off part 4 with a bang. Even though Pac-Man doesn't actually have explosions in it, but you know, good enough. Oh, also this version seems to give you more lives than the original. 'Cause I'm sure you only got 3 lives originally, but yeah, this one they were just like, yeah, we'll just give you an extra life to start off with. Okay, so what we're gonna do here... So, like I say, when it comes to these endless games, they don't really have any sort of end goal beyond... I suppose technically a kill screen could be seen as that, but we're just going to ignore that for the purposes of this stream. Yeah, what we're going to be doing here is try to beat the high score and also try to beat all the levels. Because there's like all sorts of different levels that you come across in these things. On some games, though, as we saw last time, some of these games really only have one level that just loops forever, and Pac-Man, you might be aware, is one of them. It is just the one level, and you just play it over and over until you run out of lives, or you crash the game. So I'm just going to play this for a bit. Now, as I say, normally I just go by if I can get the kill... not the kill screen. If I can... beat the default high score. But for this game, I figure I'd do it a bit different, because there are screens that appear between a few of the levels. And I thought, yeah, let's try to get those screens. See, the problem is, the ghosts are cheating bastards who will often trap you in the walls where you can't possibly avoid them. Like, you should just be able to jump over them, like in Pac-Mania. See, that's what I miss. I don't know. I'm going to say for the record, I think the best Pac-Man game out of all of them is Pac-Man Championship Edition. That game is amazing. This one is pretty good, but it's also... I don't know. When it comes to original Pac-Man, I've always preferred the Turbo version. The first few levels are a bit slow-going, and just makes it not quite as fun to play as... yeah, that version for me. I don't know. It's one of those games it takes... Okay, that time... Okay, that was just me being rubbish, I'll be honest. I actually meant to go the other way, but I fiddled around with the D-pad incorrectly and got killed. But, yeah, see, I do have a ROM hack of this on a multicart where they actually do just straight up make the game faster. And that's how I prefer to play this version myself. Some people prefer it like this. And this isn't even, like, running on a PAL system. Like, this is running at the correct speed. It's just that, yeah, the original game starts off a bit slow. Not that it matters, because I'm still rubbish, but, you know. As I say, I'll try to see if I can get the cutscenes. I can't really guarantee anything. If I don't get the cutscenes, I'll call it a loss, because, you know, I've got to up the challenge in some way. But for a game this famous, I have to a little bit. Also, I do apologise for the background noise. Unfortunately, my neighbours decided they wanted to be inconsiderate today. And so, yeah, I just have to power through it. But, that's just how it is. Hopefully, that will be done soon. If you're wondering why I started later than usual today, yeah, that's kind of one of the big reasons why. Just things going on around me. Yep, now they're just forcing me into the corners because they're bastards. Yeah, you always want to get these corner dots out of the way first. There are ways to, like, trick them into going the wrong way, but I can never remember how to do it. Like, there's ways to trick the computer in this, but I was never good at doing that. I'm like, I'd rather just avoid them completely. Okay, collect the stray dots. I'm also trying to avoid using the power pills. Because, like, once you get to this point, I don't know, it's not even really worth trying to just eat the ghost. You're better off just trying to survive like this. And besides, I've already beaten the high score anyway, so it's like, whatever. You know, at this point, I'm just trying to get the other cutscene. Because that's the challenge I've set myself. Oh yeah, that's right, they did recently upload the, Here Comes Pac-Man 3D animation thing. Like, who actually uploaded that? Was it the people that made that video that I showed? I guess it must have been, because I don't know. Unless that was originally made for something else, and they just happened to have the files. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do there? It's like, oh, the ghost decided to come both ways, so you just get killed. It's like, oh, yeah, thanks for not giving me the chance to avoid it. See, this is why I prefer, like, Pac-Man Championship Edition. You have ways to get out of that. And in this game, you kind of don't. You're sort of limited. I don't know. I think this is about as far back as you can generally go and still have the games be pretty good. I think once you go, like, beyond this and you start going to games like, I don't know, Hey Ankyo Alien or whatever, you get to the point where you're just like, yeah, these games just, they're a little too archaic to be worth playing today. It's like, this was maybe good at the time, and you just wouldn't want to go back to it. This game is still good, it's just, I do think that there are other Pac-Man games that have come out since that are kind of this, but better. You know, and I've mentioned a couple of them, but I mean, like, Ms. Pac-Man is basically the better version of this game. Sadly, I don't think Ms. Pac-Man is on this system, even though it really should be. But, that's just how it works. I don't know, the game selection needed a bit of work. I mean, for one thing, not having the nice code games on here would have been a good start. Oh, okay, well, somehow I managed to eat all those dots and not get killed. Can I get the dot? Yes. Oh, okay, I actually was trying to press down. The game just didn't take the input. I don't know if that's because of the... That may actually just be down to the delay on my capture device. Yeah, as I say, I don't think any version of Miss Pac-Man is on the system, though. That's the problem. Like, they just didn't put any version. Like, even, like, the shitty Namco version, they didn't even put that version on this. And you think they would have done... Okay, so I think we can call this one a win, because I don't think there are any other cutscenes. Sadly, there's no cutscene that, like, disables all power tools in the building. Personally, I like to trigger that cutscene myself, but, you know. Okay, let's see how much longer I can survive for. Whoa! Yeah, come on! Okay. Yeah, I got 3 of them. That was pretty good. When do you get an extra life? Is it like 50,000 points or something? I can't remember. I do not remember. Yeah, I'm getting the apple, though. Yeah, they can stop me, but they can't stop me getting the apple. Ah, yes, cats versus dogs. Oh, what was that game called? Was that the actual game title? I don't remember. I remember the, like, Pikachu-themed version. And, yeah, the pink jelly version. Sorry about that. Just had to turn the radiator off. It's starting to get slightly less cold. So, don't want to overheat myself. But, you know, I think we can call that one a victory. Because I did get the cutscenes, and that's what I was setting out to do. It's kind of a case of I want to show what these games actually have. So I'm going to put that down as number 12. There we go. Okay, so let's remind ourselves of what was on this page. Aside from what I've played already. So, of course, you know, Road Fighter and Space E.T. I did play those last time. You might remember them. Space E.T., of course, being Space Invaders and not no relation to the film E.T. or the many shitty video games based on it. And, of course, we just played Pac-Man. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of other games on this page. Ninja 1, Ninja 3. I have no idea what happened to Ninja 2, though. Where is Ninja 2? Is it on the system? You know what, let's play some Ninja 1. Let's hope it works properly. But yeah, Ninja 1, you may also know this as Ninja-Kun. Which, if you don't know, this is... Well, it's this game. It's a game where you play as a ninja on a mountain. and you have to kill other ninjas. It's got this sort of cutesy art style going on. And sometimes the game does that. I obviously hit the shuriken and somehow got killed by nothing. Yeah, this is one of those games, I'll just say right now, this is one I've never really gotten into. Wait, what's going on with the audio? Because it was working fine on the previous streams. Okay, I was testing this out. Not testing it out, but like, on the previous streams it's been fine, and I've changed nothing. Though, actually saying that, I did update OBS, so if OBS broke the sound, okay, so I've just reactivated it. You'll have to let me know if it's any better. So, okay, I don't know what's going on with the audio, because I can't hear it on my end. I can hear the console, like the audio coming from the TV. I don't hear what's going on with OBS. So I never really figured out the strategy to this. Kind of just... No, I want the... There we go. Give me the ball. Okay, is it any better? Because, as I say, the audio was working perfectly okay on the previous streams. See, I was slightly worried I was going to have to downgrade OBS back to a previous version to get it working. That's bizarre. I don't really understand that. Also, I forgot this game has a time limit. Oh, apologies for the flashing screen, by the way. I swear, like, games from this era, they constantly had flashing screens where it just wasn't needed in any way, shape, or form. It was just, like, the thing to do, because it was easy to program, I think. Here we go. So, a bunch of enemy ninjas and, what's it called? What's that thing called? Baruma? No, I think the name began with, like, a D. To be fair, I'm not going to be playing this game for very long anyway. Partly because I'm rubbish, but also just because I don't really care for it. I don't know. Like, this is one of those games, I'd maybe play it for, like, 5 minutes and turn it off. It's like, yep, this game exists. I don't know. I mean, there was a whole line of these games, arguably, like, 2 lines. Because you had this game, and then you have Ninja-Kun, and there was a whole series of those. And I gotta be honest, Ninja-Kun is essentially just this game, but better. Combat felt better. Level designs were horizontally oriented instead of vertical. There were power-ups. There was just a bit more going on. And I don't know, it just felt better to play by comparison. Even though it largely feels the same. It's hard to really describe the difference. I'd have to play them back to back to be able to describe it well, but... yeah, it kind of makes me wish I was playing that. But yeah, like, unsurprisingly, you know, the Famicom being a Japanese console, naturally there were a lot of ninja-themed games. Because, of course there were. I mean, obviously there were at least 3 of them. Oh, here we go. Doesn't that they constantly jump when you do? It's like the game just button reads. And the time limit does not help. There we go. It's that thing the other way. I want to at least show off the bonus level. I get the feeling the game's not going to let me, though. See, like, I'm just trying to kill the enemy and the game's not letting me. Okay, here we go. Yeah. No, Ninja 3... I'm going to guess Ninja 3 is not Ninja Hattori-kun. That game probably is on this, but I think it might be a different one. So I think we now get to go to the bonus level. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Bonus stage. So, yeah, essentially you do these 3 levels and they just loop forever, but you do get different enemies. I don't know when the enemies start to loop, or when they just run out of enemies to add to the game. I do like the audio on this, though. It almost sounds like a Sachin game. Yeah. I'm not even sure if it's possible to get all of them. If it is, then the timing on it is super tight. Here we go. So I think these enemies are pretty much the same as what you got on the first level, except now they're more aggressive. Oh, also they shoot cannonballs. Or whatever that's supposed to be. I can't even tell. But yeah, sure. Oh, I got another life. Cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm not really going to be able to beat this one, just because while it is just looping the same 3 levels, at the same time, it's like so many different enemy types. Like, there's no way we're going to be able to see all the enemies. Like, I don't even know how many loops it takes. It's certainly more than I can do, because, I mean, this is about as far in the game as I ever got. Yeah, because stuff like that, where it's just like, you constantly have multiple enemies on the same platform, so you just get killed. I don't know. Again, this is one of those games, I could take it or leave it. I don't really care for it. It's like, meh. It's kind of the thing about these games. Again, some of them stand the test of time pretty well, like Pac-Man or Road Fighter. Then you have games like that where it's just kind of, yeah, this game was forgotten for a reason. Okay, so let's try some Ninja Free. Okay, well, there's no title, but I can tell you right now, this is Ikki, which I should point out has nothing to do with the previous game, other than the fact that it happens to have ninjas in it. I actually have the cartridge for this game. I don't know why, but I do. And, yeah, basically, you play as, I think, a farmer, where it's like, okay, they're in revolt, and ninjas have been sent to quell the revolt. I don't know, this game is odd. And, yeah, in Japan, this is actually a notorious Kuso game. You can probably tell why just watching me playing it. Because look at the fact that I have to be at the very edge of the screen to make it scroll. The enemies constantly spawn from the edge of the screen with no warning as to when or where they're going to appear from. So, whenever you move the screen, you're constantly at risk of getting killed, just out of nowhere. And there's no way to react to it, or really do much. You've got weapons that are effectively useless. They actually are worse than your default weapon, because at least this has range. But then you got stuff like that. It's like, oh, well, okay, what was I supposed to do there? It's like, oh, well, enemy just appears out of nowhere, immediately throws a shuriken, you get killed. There's actually, on the Mega Drive Action 52, there's a game on there called Ninja, and this reminds me a lot of that game. In the sense that they're both unfairly hard for just really bad design decisions. In fact, that game has the exact same problem where you have to go to the edge of the screen to make it scroll. And because of that, there's no way to like react to the enemies that are coming towards you. You're just screwed, basically. As I say, like, I'm not sure if this game is quite as bad as its reputation in Japan would have you believe, but it certainly isn't good. Like, Sunsoft games, their later ones were, like, well made, but often too hard to really be much fun to play, I find. But a lot of their early games were just bad. Like, often unnecessarily hard, but also just incompetently made at the same time. And this is a great example of that. This is not the worst Sunsoft game we're going to see. I mean, this, I want to say, has a reputation as the first Kusa game on the system, which I don't think is true at all. Like, this was released a few months after Super Arabian, which was another Sunsoft game, and I think that game is, like, 10 times worse than this. Like, that one is virtually unplayable. This one at least controls halfway decently. Again, if the screen scrolled in a way that you weren't constantly at the edge of the screen, this might have been okay. Like, if the screen scrolling worked okay, maybe you'd be able to get somewhere. But, yeah, in the state that it's in, it doesn't really... It's not really worth bothering with, I don't think. Again, I'm not sure if I'd call this one of the worst games on the system, but it's certainly not good. Let's put it that way. Yeah, again, it's like, well, what was I supposed to do there? You don't have a block button. You can't block projectiles, like in something like, what's that other game that Taito put out? Legend of Kage? Like, you could block projectiles in that game. If you press the button at the right time. You can't do anything like that here. It's just, you're underpowered, your weapons suck, and the enemies just constantly kill you out of nowhere. So, yeah, like, honestly, I'd say that's worse than the previous game. And I know this is a game that people really wanted me to play last time, so let's do it. Yeah, it's kind of funny, I was showing off that Here Comes Pac-Man video. Lighting up some drugs, and speaking of which, yeah, this may be the sequel to Pac-Man, in a sense. And yeah, we've got multiple difficulties. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm rubbish at Othello, so I'm just going to play on the default. Because I do not care. Like, Othello, I don't like this game at the best of times. It's... I'm going to play one round of this, and then I'm moving on. Like, this is one I kind of want to just veto it. And just say, fuck this, I'd rather play anything else. Also, yeah, like, why is the audio like that? Like, they couldn't have picked any other sounds? I don't know. Yeah, the sounds could have done some work, I think. And even just picking the menu option doesn't really work all that well. Because you look at it, and it's like you can't just pick any spot on the board. Instead, you have to scroll through all the available moves. And it is so awkward. It just doesn't work. I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know if it's just... To be fair, this is probably just me being rubbish at these type of games anyway, because I've never liked these sort of traditional board games to begin with. It's just not my sort of thing. But, yeah, I kind of get the impression that, like, even on the lowest difficulty, that the computer is just way too hard. Again, that may just be because I'm bad at these games. Like, I can't do them. Some people love these games, but I'm not one of them. Also, yeah, you may notice some bugginess going on the score. It's not quite working as it's supposed to. But, yeah. Okay, well... I do know that there is a trick to playing this. And that trick is... Generally, you want to avoid certain tiles. Okay, well, I'm just going to do that. Yeah, I've got 17 pieces, and the computer's got... Well, however many that is. Yeah, as I say, I'm not a fan of these types of games at the best of times, and I'm absolutely no good at them. But yeah, Othello. This got a release in Australia, I think. So they released this game in Australia, like, what was it, HES? You ever heard of them? Yeah, it's kind of just a case of just trying to trick them into making you give up, because you really just have to go for the corner tiles, but the problem is, like, the game is basically rigged to, like, force you to give up, like, tiles that you need, and it's just... As I say, again, it could just be me being awful at these games, but it's like, okay, I don't know if it's me being bad at the games, or if it's just a case of the AI being unfairly hard. Because it really does feel like, no matter what you do, they're kind of just going to take the corner tiles anyway. Like, it's... In fact, I'm not even going to play the game. I'm just going to press the A button until the game ends. I'm just going to mash A. Actually, can I just hold down the A button? No. It doesn't even give me the courtesy to just let me hold the button down and play it. See, the thing is, I don't know why you would want to play this on a console anyway. Like, it's like, yeah, I want to play this on my Nintendo Entertainment System. I mean, nowadays, you can just play, well, anything else. But, I mean, there are consoles that you can play, or, like, this is one of those games where nowadays you can play this on any other system that's come out since, and you get a better version. But, like, even the official NES version is better. I wouldn't want to play that version either, because I don't like Othello. Yeah, that's one I'm just going to, like, skip. I probably should have just vetoed it and just not even bothered starting it beyond the smoking screen, because that's the only good bit. You know what? I need to play a good game. I'm going to play some Popeye. Because fuck that shit. Okay, Othello has about to go die in a fire. Okay, here we go. Yeah. See, I can't do board games. I can't do traditional board games. I could do, like, Scrabble. But when it comes to, like, traditional board games where you have to do strategy, I can't do those. I find those games impossible. It's like, you try to get me to play, like, chess. I mean, you may as well... you may as well, I don't know. Try to get me to play the campaign for North Africa, the Desert War. And get just as far with it. I think I once did beat the computer at, like, Chessmaster on the NES. That's, like, the only time I ever won a game of chess. Like, even just playing against other people who are rubbish at chess still managed to beat me. You know, it's basically, yeah, putting me in chess, it's more or less the equivalent of... I don't even know. I was gonna, like, mention, like, a really shitty, like, sports team, and then I realized... There we go. So that makes it worth it. You know what? I needed that catharsis. Because when I play board games, I have to take it out on whatever the next game is. And I'm like, Popeye's at least a game I know how to play. Yeah. See? There are some types of games I can do, and some that I just can't. Like, anything that involves, like, tactics or strategy on any level is good. For me, it's going to be virtually impossible. I cannot do strategy. Like... You asked me to do like a turn-based strategy game or like strategy RPG or anything. No, I find those games to be just unplayable. And not unplayable, but I can't do them. That's kind of what I mean. I think you can punch those bottles out the air, can't you? Yeah, I forget exactly how this one works. Oh, no, you don't. Well, I'm just going to do this. He just got himself stuck in a corner. Yeah, that's just like me trying to play the last game. Oof. Here we go, collect all the music notes, try to win. Gonna make a song. Yeah. I think with this, it's just a case of staying out of range to get hit. Ooh. And I know you can do something with the seesaw. I forget exactly how that works. Though, I've got to be honest, while this game is quite good, graphically this version is pretty rough. I mean, you look at this level, and you compare it to how it looked in the arcade game. I mean, this, honestly, almost looks like an Atari 2600 game. Like, as in, like, the background, at least. It's... Yeah, like, this was a launch game for the Famicom, and you can really see the limitations of the hardware. Like, with what they had to work with in 1983, because, you know, you didn't have custom mappers back then or anything like that. Unsurprisingly, you're going to find a lot of Mapper Zero games on the system, because they're just, you know, take up less space. Also, for some reason, like, Bluto or Brutus or whatever you want to call him, his name changes randomly. For some reason, he can just walk across gaps, even though there's obviously no platform there, and you fall through the gap, as you would expect to. I don't know. Like, this game is weird. There we go. Got a 2-for-1 deal. Oh, 3-for-1. Never mind. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so you just keep collecting the letters. Eventually you get a ladder. Also, I was like... I was trying to think, what's the high score I gotta beat? Okay, I guess I already beat it, never mind. Also, I never figured out what the time limit was to collect the items. Eventually you just lose if you don't collect them quickly enough, but... As you can see, Bluto, or whatever his name is, has a tendency to camp at the bottom of the screen at times. But I got away with it. I always love that little sound. Also, you get these, like... Yeah, sometimes you just get these skull heads that you have to avoid on the later loops. Actually, I will try to see if I can beat this loop. So I think this does change up a little bit from the first one. I won't be happy unless I beat this loop. Otherwise, Yeah. Yeah, okay, I didn't know what I was supposed to do there. I've got to be honest, as far as, like, the launch Famicom games go, I never played this one as much as the Donkey Kong games. Just never did it for me quite as much. Maybe part of that is just because I don't think it looks nearly as good. Certainly when you compare these to the arcade games, like, this is, yeah, it's a bit rough. Though, to be fair, I mean, it plays fine. Also, I forgot that, like, once you start climbing up the ladder, you can't climb back down again, which feels counterintuitive to me. It feels like you should just be able to climb back down. Oh, you can punch the... But the skulls are on the ground. Surely you can't punch... Like, unless there's, like, a separate punching the ground animation, that doesn't really make sense. It feels like you shouldn't be able to. Or maybe you have to punch them when they're in midair. I don't know. But either way, we're just going to move on. I'm no expert on Popeye. I'll be the first to admit that. But pinball... Yeah, let's play game B on this one, just because it's the same game but faster. And with how quick these games are, I may as well go for the one that ends slightly quicker. Keep the pace up. I just want to show off the amazing physics of this game. Like, look at this. Nice little jittery ball. Oh. I thought they stayed on the ground, or they didn't bounce high enough that you could punch them. I don't know. You know what's really funny too? There was like a Popeye spin-off game for the Famicom Disk System. Yeah. Also, have fun playing a pinball game that doesn't even have a tilt function. But, yeah. Pinball... You know, I did mention earlier that there's like a certain threshold of game... For me, at least if we're talking, like, full-on video game, not, like, electromechanical games. If we're talking, like this, where there's no electromechanical element whatsoever, yeah. A lot of these games, to me, they just don't hold up nowadays. And again, a lot of that is specifically games from the 70s, but there are a lot of games like this. Okay, I'm just gonna yeah. You know, I mean, yes, that was a particularly appalling run, but I blame that on the game's physics rather than me. Because it's like, okay, well, what was I supposed to do there? Okay, the ball bounces down, goes straight down the middle of the flippers. I think that run, like that last minute of footage, is an excellent example as to why this game aged so poorly. Because, like, literally every pinball game that came after this, at least on this console, just straight up had better physics. A lot of them had a tilt function. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have a tilt function on your pinball game, then get the fuck out of here. I don't want to go anywhere near it. Okay, I don't care that this was 1984. Fucking video pinball from 1981 on the Atari 2600 had a tilt function. Wasn't a very good game, but I'd probably take it over this. Yeah. Honestly, if you were to ask me what the worst, like, Nintendo game is on the system, I probably would say pinball. Either pinball, or maybe, like, Mac Rider or something like that. Just something that people maybe saw was acceptable at the time, but you go back and play it now and you're like, yeah, compared to everything that came after it, this sucks. Just, ugh. Yeah, 3D Pinball Space Cadet, that is a good game. But obviously, I mean, that came out, what, 15 years later? So, yeah. Pinball, really a game that's more victim of advancements in technology more so than most of the other games you're going to find on this. Just because there are countless other pinball games that are way better. Now, here's a better game, thankfully. Let's see if I can last longer than a minute. Because I don't want them to call me the 1 minute man. Just gonna enjoy this tune for a bit. Yeah, see, when it comes to Pooyan, or Pooyan, or however you pronounce it. Yeah, I know the rules, and so do you. Actually, it's funny I say that, because I do have the Rick Astley autobiography sitting on my desk. I bought it a couple of days ago, and I'm like, you know what? I do want to know more about Rick Astley. You know, beyond the meme. Yeah, there we go. Give me all the points. Okay, I gotta recalibrate. It's been a while since I've played this game, to be fair, so if I'm rusty, then that'll be the reason why. Also, yeah, so this was converted by Hudson, and then... Oh no, this was originally a Konami game that got ported by Hudson. And, yeah, to be fair, this is quite a good version, actually. I've played this on the Atari 2600, and I've got to be honest, that version just isn't good. Even accounting for the, you know, downgrade in hardware, it's just not a good game, full stop. It's, like, most of the graphics are rendered in, like, white and green. It's like, we got white and we got, like, 2 shades of green to render the entire game. Like, that's one of the things that Atari was good at. It could do decent colours, and yet, not for this game on there. Plus, you could only move in a few set positions on the screen, like a, you know, an LCD game, and it just didn't play very well at all. In large part because of that. Okay, here we go. So level 2, it's kind of like level 1 in reverse. You gotta shoot them as they go up. See, I can do this. Yeah, try to get all the bonus points. I can't remember, yeah, I can't remember what the secret is for this level. There is a secret, and I can't remember what it is. But yeah, basically you got to make sure you shoot all of them. Because the problem is you got that counter on the top left of the screen. And if any of these wolves make it to the top of the screen, that counter actually goes up. So you have to make sure you get every single one of them. Like, you can't miss. And they also have, like, shields, which makes it a lot more difficult than it could be. Okay, I may have shot just a bit too early there, but oh well. Okay, here we go. So then you got this, like, purple wolf that you have to shoot, like, 50 times. There we go. I was actually expecting to screw up really badly there and just have them keep respawning, considering how a couple of the previous games have gone already on this stream. Just a weird mix of, yeah. Weird mix of success and just massive failure. And I mean massive even for, like, even by the standards of the previous few streams. Where a couple of these games have gone. Like, how is it even possible to get a game over on pinball that quickly? Well, I found a way. Although, to be fair, I just blame that on the game's physics being shit. So, yeah. Kind of thing that, again, maybe impressive at the time, but you won't want to play it now. Oh, okay, here's where, yeah, now we've got the... yeah, now we've got the pink wolf. Not to be confused with pink jelly, it's completely different. Okay, I'm going to start dying a lot from this point. I don't actually remember what changes with each loop, other than the enemies get more aggressive and the patterns change. Yeah, basically, this one is just kind of prey. And I don't know if the enemies ever despawn. Like, even if you get killed, I don't think they despawn in this. Like, you just have to deal with them for the rest of the level. So basically, once this happens, you're dead. Like, you're not beating it. It's kind of the thing about this game. The difficulty goes from, like, 0 to 100 in, like, one loop. It's probably a good thing that they don't have a Game B option in this, because, I mean, the Game A option is hard enough once you get to this point. Like, look at this. The bonus thing doesn't even line up properly. And, like, you see how aggressive the enemies are. It does feel like a Konami game. In the sense that, yeah, we're just gonna just kill you immediately before you get the chance to do much. You played their later games? Ooh. I'm surprised they even bother with the balloons. Yeah. I think that's the problem with this game, and why I was never really into it that much. The difficulty just accelerates way too quickly. Like, the first loop is fine, then... Yeah, it's like the game goes from, like, 0 to 100. Like, just after that, like, between that bonus level. And, like, you see how many times I have to shoot these enemies just to get them? Like, I think on the first loop you shot them twice, and now I have to shoot them, like, 15 times. Yeah, like, this really does just straight up feel like arcade difficulty, and not in a good way. Oh, look at this. It's like, oh yeah, welcome to the real game now, motherfucker. Plus, you don't know when is a good time to use this thing. Seems kind of arbitrary. Like, maybe you can memorize when the enemy patterns, like where the enemy spawns are going to be, but it feels like there's no surefire way to know. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like all my shots deflected off that. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the counter resets if you die as well. So, yeah. So basically, like, you miss, and then you just screw. Why the pig just doesn't just get out of the way when they're about to drop the boulder, I don't know. Kind of silly, but... Somehow I did it. Like, barely, but I did... Here we go. Bonus stage. Okay, this looks different. Oh, I see, I'm supposed to get the strawberries. I don't even... It's been so long since I got to this point, I don't even remember this bonus stage at all. Like, I literally forgot that this game even had multiple bonus levels. That's kind of it's kind of how it is. Because usually I just wipe out the start of the second loop. But, you know, I think I'll call this one a victory. I mean, I'm on 100,000 something points. The last one's not so much. I mean, even though technically I did beat the high score in the, even though I technically beat the high score in that, pinball game. You know what? That was such a bad run, I'm not even going to count it. Like, that's just, no. Like, that doesn't even deserve to count as anything, really. Also, look at this. You gotta mash the buttons like crazy. You gotta be, like, Takahashi Majin playing this. Which I guess makes sense. This is a Hudson game, but still. It's not particularly what I want. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've kind of seen everything this game has to offer. I don't think really much changes when you get to this point. Like, the rest of the game is pretty much just going to be like the second loop. And yeah, it's kind of just a case of, if your shots aren't like 100% accurate, you're just going to miss all of them. The fact that you have to hit all these enemies multiple times, I think that's really the problem that I have with this game personally. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel great. It feels like you should just be able to hit them once and have it count. And when this happens, like, you're basically done. Yeah, here we go, just camp at the top of the screen. And just hope for the best. Actually, what happens if I do this? Because I am just kind of mashing A and B and just hoping for the best. Because there's not really much else you can do in this situation. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm going to call that a victory. I don't care. Yeah, I got to the third loop, and again, I don't think anything really changes after the second loop, except maybe the bonus level, but really, who cares? You know, I got the high score. Anyway. Yeah, that's Pooyan, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. Pooyan. Could have come up with a better name for it, let's be honest. Just call it Wolf. Or Pig. Like, Pig Defense. That's what I would have called it. Okay, well, we're almost done with this page. But it's time for Sky Destroyer. I'm not going to lie, this is a game that I've never really sat down to play much. Like, I never got into it. And it's not because I think the game's bad or anything, it's just I never set aside the time to really bother with this one. Not that it's bad. I seem to recall this game is alright. I don't actually know what changes between levels, other than the colour of the sky, and I think the enemies get more aggressive. If anyone knows what happens on the later levels of this, I'd like to know. Because I know... I'd like to know what needs to be counted as a victory in this case. Because as far as I'm aware, every level is the same, just with different colours. I'm sure it's not the case. Again, I'm sure that the game does become more difficult as you progress. Now, what's really funny about this game is I think you actually play as, like, the Japanese Air Force. Also, yeah, getting that thing is, like, next to impossible. Basically, if you're not... if you're not, like, save-stating the fuck out of that bit, you're probably not getting it. But yeah, essentially you're playing as, like, one plane in the Japanese Air Force. Kind of like 1942 in reverse. That's kind of how I describe it. Boom! Okay. But yeah, it is kind of like... Well, inverse 1942, I think, as I just said, really. There's not a whole lot to say about the game, really. It's, yeah, just kind of you stand it into the screen shooter. And it's fine. But it's also, well, you kind of know what to expect with a game like this. Similar to games like Top Gun. Also, yeah, the sky does change colour. I don't know how long we're in the air for. Oh, also, eventually the, like, turbo function just stops working. You have to mash the button. Also, I never quite figured out where the hitboxes are on these planes. It's like you have to hit the centre of them. But it doesn't, I don't know, I could quite never make sense of it. Yeah, planes and submarines. See, the problem is I'm trying to read the chat whilst I play this game, which is probably not going to work, considering I'm constantly being shot at. But you start on the bonus stick. What? Okay, I don't know what that means. Like, is that plane the bonus stage? Like the one that I was trying to shoot down earlier? Like the red one? Okay. Yeah, I think I might have shot that a bit too far. Oh no, I got it. Again, the red planes at the top, you're probably better off just ignoring them, just because they don't give you enough time to shoot it down. If they gave you more time, then maybe it'd be worth it, but because they don't, you're better off just ignoring them. At least that's what I find, anyway. And unless they give you, like, 15,000 points or something, but otherwise, it's just, no. Also, yeah, hard to be stealth when you're bright green in the dark. Is this a fluorescent plane? What's going on? I do like the graphics, though. I will say that. Like, for 1985, yeah, this is definitely one of the better looking games at the time. I'm guessing the theme is maybe the main reason why this didn't get localized. Maybe if they recolored the planes and said, okay, you're actually playing as an American, like, plane or something. But I doubt it. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I don't know. I never quite figured out the point of this game, really. I think that's the issue. It's just kind of... Yeah, you just kind of fly around aimlessly and just wait for things to happen. I think that's the problem with this game. Like, 95% of it, you're just... You've just got these generic planes that are trying to shoot you. There's just not quite enough happening, for my liking. And I think that's, like, the reason I never got into it. I don't know. It's like Top Gun just has more going on. This is just kind of, okay, occasionally you get a missile shooting at you and you have to dodge it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really huge on games like Space Harrier. I find them a bit, well, mechanically a bit simple even for me. One of those games that's really more for the presentation rather than the actual gameplay, I find. Your mileage may vary. I don't know. Some people love sorry, not Space Harrier, Afterburner. That's the game I was thinking of. But yeah, you got games like this where it's just kind of like you fly around at the speed of sound Hopefully you're not breaking the speed. And you're kind of just in it to get points? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to see why the American Air Force won, let's be honest. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever made it past that level. I'm just going to be straight up with you. Like, I've never played this game enough to get past level 1. And playing it again, I can kind of see why I never got into it. It's just, it's too slow. Like, the levels take way too long. And there just isn't enough to them. Like, you can see that this island eventually appears, but, you know, you probably have to be playing this game for like 50 minutes before it shows up. And it's like, okay, I'm not playing one level for that long when everything leading up to it is so dull. So, yeah. It's kind of a real, yeah, motley crew of games. I mean, a few of these are quite good. You know, Road Fighter, Pac-Man. I guess Pooyan and Popeye are also quite good, but the rest of these, I could take them or leave them. I mean, again, honestly, I would say Pinball is probably the worst game on this page. Because even Othello, you could have maybe a bit of fun playing it 2-player. If you could get a second person who would want to play Othello on the NES with you, I'd take it over Pinball, because Pinball, again, just obsoleted by every pinball game on the NES that came after it. It's like, I don't know why you would want to play this nowadays. Anyway, that's, wait, no. Okay, now it displays. Let me just move this a little bit, just to make it look a bit nicer. So that was page 14, over and done with. And what comes after 14? Well, as we all know, it is 12. Okay, so we got to go back a couple of pages for this one. So page 12. Yep, we get to play more of these really early Famicom NES games. There are some good ones. We've got Lode Runner. We've got Golf. I'm not sure if I could stomach 18 holes of golf just yet. What shall I play? Yeah, let's play Karateka. And let's see how far I get with this. Okay, I'm going to try playing this game for real. See how far I get. I've never been able to beat this one. I do remember getting into the building, but, yeah. Usually, it just goes like that. Actually, you know what? Let's do a mulligan. I just wanted to show that off because it's funny. Yeah. You know, if the game ends in, like, less than 10 seconds, I will do a mulligan. Especially in this case, just because the death scenes are hilarious. Okay, let's try actually playing this one. I never quite got the hit detection in this. Like, there is a whole, like, what was it? The Making of Karateka. You can get it on Switch and various other platforms. There we go. Yeah, good old The End. But yeah, there's a whole collection that has this game on it. And yeah, the general consensus that I saw from people is that it's really worth getting more for the historical content, like the making of, you know, concepts and all that, like the interviews and that sort of thing. It's really worth getting it more for that rather than the game. It's one of those games that was quite interesting for the time, you know, sort of like this early, I guess, fighting game, sort of. I do also know you can bow, which I think gives you a bit of health. I did play this on the Game Boy not too long ago. That version, they added sort of RPG mechanics a little bit. Also, yeah, sometimes the music is slowed down. Why the music plays slower on this, I don't know. Maybe it is some weird emulation issue, but... Oh, okay, I was trying to bow, and the game just wasn't letting me for some reason. I don't know if you can only do that against specific enemies. Doesn't really make sense. I guess that's the problem with this game. It doesn't really explain how it works. Yeah, this is a game that's really worth playing more for the animation rather than the actual game. Also, while we're here, I'm just going to show this off just because it's funny. Yep, there we go. That's the best part. Just make him fall off the cliff. Okay, what else we got? Yes, that was Karateka. You know what? I'm going to play golf, but I'm going to actually invoke a mercy rule on this one. Because there's no real way to lose this one as such, but it's also a case of, you look at the score. Okay, so the high score is 100 strokes. So I got to try to beat this game in less than that. Also, I'm playing this with capture delay, which may make a game like this actually a lot more difficult. See, this is the problem with this game. You don't know how far away you are from the hole. It doesn't really explain it. It's like, okay. It's like, how far away am I? It doesn't tell me. It says that the overall length of the hole is 357 meters, but I don't know how far that shot took me, because the game doesn't tell you. And I don't know how far these clubs actually go, because the game doesn't tell you that either. I think it might tell you that in the manual, but I don't have that. And it feels like the sort of thing where they should just have that information on screen. Also, yeah, the end is a good screen. Also, you can't even pause the game. I don't remember if that was the case in the original, but I'm willing to believe it. But yeah, you can see wind 7 meters to the right. To be fair, this was a real pioneering game. Like, this was really the game that set the standard for golf games for a long time. No, I should have used the 6-iron. Not that I could have known that, because the game withholds vital information. That's really the game's big failing. It doesn't tell you enough. It's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to know how far I'm in to hit any given shot? I don't know. It's one of those games... Yeah, a bit like pinball. It's one of those where it was okay for its time, but you wouldn't really want to play it now. Actually, maybe that's a bit unfair. This actually isn't that bad as compared to some of the other early sports games. I was like, wait, am I not in the bunker? Because it really looks like I should be. Especially with the way the wind is going, but okay, sure. I will take it. The game has decided to show mercy. So, okay, let's put it this way. I will play this game for 100 strokes, and if I can't beat the game in that, we'll call it a loss, and then we'll move on. Let's see how far I can get in 100 strokes. So, see, this is the problem. I have to play this game entirely by eye, because it doesn't say how far away I'm from the hole. Okay, let's be fair. This game is alright for, like, 1984. Like, this was a real revolutionary game. And, for what it's worth, I don't remember golf games on the NES after this really being all that good to begin with. I mean, what truly great golf games are there? Like, maybe NES Open Tournament Golf? Which came out, like, 7 years after this. So, you know, to be fair, this game may be a bit ahead of its time, but yeah, there's a definite room for improvement, let's say. Okay, I'm probably wanting to hit that a bit further to the left, but that worked. But as I say, I'm going to play this game for 100 strokes and then see how far I can get doing that. Oh, I did it! We are back to even. I actually did good on a hole. Oh no. Great, now I've got the wind going to the left. So, okay, so I know that from playing other golf games, generally the 1 wood I think hits about 240 meters. The 3 wood hits about 220. The 4 wood is about 200, I think. From what I remember playing other games from this era that use the system, I probably want to be using the 4 wood on this hole. Or possibly the 1-iron, but let's go for the 4 wood. So yeah, 197 meters. Also, I'm going to deliberately hit it to the right. And of course I got it wrong. But it's like, okay, how am I supposed to know which club to use? It's not like the game auto-selects the clubs. So... Oh, also it's going to start me all the way back here because the person who designed the course was a dickhead. Yeah, you want to talk about games of their time. Like, you're looking at this right here. Because I don't even know how far the put-in wedge goes. Like, it could go... I mean, for all I know, it could hit me 2 meters, or it could hit the ball, like, 1,000 meters. Because the game doesn't tell me. Like, there's no reference for it in the game. Which I kind of get why. Again, this game did come out in, like, 1984. But, yeah, it's kind of the thing, a lot of these early games where they kind of existed to fill a gap in the market. Eventually, that market ended up being filled by other games. And then you're like, well, why wouldn't I just play that? Though actually, again, saying that, I don't know if there are any good alternatives on the NES. When I think of, like, good golf games, I feel like you really have to go to the 16-bit consoles for that. Games like PGA Tour or major title on the SNES. Like, those are the games you have to go for. You don't really want to be going for this. I was going to say, maybe, like, what was the first really good golf game that maybe holds up today? And I'd say maybe World Class Leaderboard, which was a PC game. I don't think it ever got released on... No, there never was a NES version. I think there might have been a Master System version, but... Yeah, it did not get a NES release. And, yeah, you can also see some of the poor programming in this as well. If you... Like, sometimes it just feels completely random, where if a ball lands anywhere near trees, it just... The game randomly classes it out of bounds. Because, like, I'm clearly in bounds on there. Like, I'm on the light green bit, and then the game just says out of bounds for no reason. Again, it just... Ugh. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things, like, you go back to a game like this and take away the nostalgia filter, and see just how rough games like this truly are, like, in a modern context. I mean, I love the NES. There's a lot of NES games that are still great to go back to now, but... Yeah, for every Contra, there are like 15 Golfs. You know, it's that sort of thing. You know, like, this is the kind of game that, back when it was new, you would have spent a lot of time practicing it, and eventually figuring out how to, you know, do this in under 100 strokes, or maybe even beat the course par. But, yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who'd want to do that today. I mean, even, like, the most hardened, like, golf fan, you would probably want to go back no further than, like, the first PGA Tour game on Mega Drive, or something like that. Which is a great game. It's like, what club am I even supposed to use here? I don't know what the distance is. Plus the fact that the wind is going to carry the ball anyway. So I guess I should use a 4-wood? No, let's try the 1-iron. And see... And try to, like hook the shot. Because I need to, like, hit it further to the left. Because... Okay, this is one of the most weird things about this game. There's some good stuff about this game, to be fair. But you get weirdness like this, where here, you've got a lot more freedom of movement where to actually point the cursor. Like, you can point it like this and fine-tune the position. And it feels like you should just be able to do that no matter what. And to be fair, most golf games on the NES, you could do that. But in this game, for whatever reason, when you're trying to hit the ball towards the green, you can only hit it in 16 directions. I don't know why they did it like this. There was an SG-1000 golf game that I think actually predates this. And in that one, you could actually hit the ball in just about any angle you wanted to. It was fiddly and didn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But I want to say in a way that maybe worked a little bit better. I'm not going to say the game is better. I think there's a reason why people remember this more than that. And not just because the NES was more popular than the SG-1000. But yeah. Although, let's be fair, I mean, as far as sports games of this era go, again, this is probably one of the better ones. There is something to this game that I do like. But it's, yeah, I mean, this is really the frustration. It's like, do I use a 6-iron or a 7-iron? Again, I feel like with most of the golf games that came after this, it would be easier to judge just for, you know, being able to aim the cursor properly. And also just because the game tells me how far away I am from the green. In terms of meters or yards or whatever it is. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, how was I supposed to know that would lead into the bunker? There's no way to know that in advance, because, again... Yeah, I think that's the problem. The game just straight up doesn't give you enough information to go by. Like, I don't know. It's like people make fun of, what is it, golf on Atari. But this game, I feel like people maybe tend to overlook its issues a bit. I mean, I don't mind a good golf game. It's just a case of, yeah, I think as far as golf games go, yeah, this one's, again, it is very of its time. Far from the worst you'll find. And I'm sure that, I mean, there are worse golf games out there if you want to find them, but it's like, would I particularly want to play this one today? I mean, maybe for a bit of a laugh. I could play, like, a few rounds. And when I say a few rounds, I mean a few holes, not, like, playing the entire course several times. I've got a limit. And, okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so I'm in the bunker, whatever. I didn't go out of bounds. Again, you land anywhere in those trees and it counts as out of bounds. It feels like they should just make the ground dark in those areas to let you know that, yeah, you're not supposed to go there. Oh. For a second I thought I landed on the green, but... Well, not in the hole. I am on the green, but, you know. Though it is quite funny how some of these holes I can get a birdie, and then other holes I just end up getting, like, plus 10. I don't know. I suppose my skill is just kind of random like that. Like, some of these games I can do okay. And then some of them I get a game over within the first minute. It's just how it works. Yeah, I'm just going to hit this one straight down. See how that works. Ugh. Okay, I was fully expecting that to go, like, just barely in the water. But, got away with it. See, again, like, how am I supposed to know? Okay, that is on the green. I call bullshit. That ball is clearly on the green. And the game's programming just doesn't know what to do. I kind of just want to just do this and just keep hitting the ball out and then just move on. But no, let's try actually playing this a bit further because we're on hole 10 now anyway. See if I can beat the default high score. Also, yeah, I am desperately trying to make sure I don't land in the out of bounds thing. So here we go, the classic dog leg, as they call it. I don't know why they call it that, but they do. 7 iron, let's do it. Okay, I probably hit that a bit too far to the... Oh no, got away with it. Witted? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the ROM hack of this, where they swapped the letter N and T. If you want to go for a nice Snroke play. I mean, that is quite funny, to be fair. Oh, this isn't, though. This is just annoying. It's like, what if we made the putting completely tedious? Just like every golf game that came afterwards. Though actually, to be fair, the putting in this isn't as bad as like many golf games that came afterwards. Like, that's the reason I don't like Everybody's Golf. I think the putting in that game is terrible. You know, that's the thing about me. I don't give a toss what the consensus on the game is. If I don't like it, I'll say so. So I probably didn't hit that. Oh, no, I'll go away with it. I was going to say, I don't think I hit it far enough to the left. I think that's lined up. Let's do it. Oh, okay, I did it. Cool. Okay, hole number 12. So we're going in. We were out, now we're back in. Let's see, 375. I don't think you can actually make it to that green area in the first shot. Okay, let's just try... I mean, I'd rather hit it in the bunker than out. Like, how the fuck is that out? Okay, kiss my bum game. idiot. I think that's the problem with this game. Like, whether or not, like, you get the ball in, it feels very just arbitrary. It's just like, I don't know. It's like what's the hitbox for the ball being in? Like, why have the light green areas be out? Like, surely if that bit's out, just make it black, just so that I know not to go there. It's just, I don't know. It's funny, because graphically this looks pretty good for the time. Unfortunately, the graphics are also misleading, which is kind of a big problem when you're trying to make a golf game. Okay, I wasn't actually trying to hit it straight. Though I hit it too far anyway. Yeah, not that I could have known that I was hitting it too far, because again, the game doesn't tell me how far away that I'm hitting it. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, I'm honestly amazed the game didn't count that as out. It's, oh, you're, like, within 3 pixels of a tree. Feels like I'm having to fight the programming just to get anywhere with this game. I think that's the problem with this game. It feels less like I'm playing a golf game and more I'm actively trying to fight the game. It's like I'm one step away from taking the cartridge out and, like, and shouting at it. Okay, that doesn't really make any sense, but whatever. Yeah. Fine, we'll go for a 1 iron. I don't really care at this point. Oh, okay, somehow that counted. I'll take it. Like, do we use the putting wedge here, maybe? Or the 9 iron? Yeah, let's try the putting wedge, see how far I get. Okay, just barely made it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put towards the green at maximum putting distance. Like, look at that. It landed right next to the hole. It's like, yeah, if you're within that distance, you may as well just do it that way. But there we go. I actually got par. See, like, it always default selects the 1 wood, even on holes like this, where you really do not want to use it. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to use the 1 wood and just hit it straight into that giant black area at the top of the screen. Actually, what club do I want to use? So this is like... So it's like 210, 200... No, I can't remember. It's like... What is this? Like 190, 180, 170, 160, 150, 40, 20... No, 30. And then whatever this is. So it was like 120, 30, 40, 50... Okay, so I think I want to use a 5 iron for this. Yeah, let's try that. I mean, maybe I could do that. I do want to go back to Bubsy 3D. I feel like going into that game with the knowledge I have now, maybe I could have a better time with it. Especially with the re-release where you've got rewinds and all that sort of thing. I think that would actually make it a lot better to play than playing it on a real PlayStation. Okay, I've got to slice the shot. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Slowly but surely. Okay, let's... put. I mean, I may as well just do it that way. There's no reason not to. Okay, we got it. As I say, if I can beat this, if I can beat the high score, then we'll say I win. If I can't beat the high score, then, you know, so be it. So we've got 4 more holes to go. I've got to do this all in 31 shots. If I can't do this in 31 shots, I'll feel bad, but... then I'll just play some of the other games on this. There are some games on here, at least a couple of them, that I know I can do. That I know I'm quite good with. So I think the wind's going to blow the ball to the left. Backwards. Okay, we're going to go for the 1 wood. Yeah, that should be good. Except no, because the game's a piece of shit. It's like, here's about go fuck yourself. Wait, what happened there? So, like... So it landed on the bunker, and then I guess, like... Did it jump out of the bunker? Like, because it didn't say bunker, so... Yeah, that's just weird. Okay, well, the wind's going to carry the ball. That's... So, like... Yeah, there we go. A bit of a lucky shot. I'll take it. Maybe if I'd done it, like, a frame earlier, it would have actually gone in the hole, but... I think that's good. Oh, there's no wind. Let's change of pace. See, this is where your limited range of angles becomes a problem, because obviously I don't want to hit it straight up the middle, like straight up, because it's going to land in the water. But if I try to hit it this way, it's heading straight for the bunker. Like, I want to be able to aim somewhere between these two areas. Yeah, it's kind of where it ends up being a bit awkward. But, yeah, Bubsy 3D. Again, that is one I do want to go back to. Maybe that one would be better. Oh. Okay, well, I was actually trying to, like, angle the shot a little bit. And the game was like, no, you're hitting it straight down the middle. At a time where I actually don't want to do that. Why not just do this? Again, if I could just aim the ball away from, like, either the bunker or the water, it wouldn't be a problem. It's just, I don't know. Like, this game is awkward in ways where it didn't necessarily need to be. I mean, they've already got the method for being able to aim the shots properly on the green. So why couldn't they just do that for, you know, the rest of the game? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's weird. Ooh. See that for a shot, too. Yeah, 4D. I've heard good things about Bubsy 4D. Apparently that one is, like, legitimately, like, a good game. I haven't played it, but looks interesting. Though it's kind of like they took another game that was kind of similar. But, okay, so we're on the second to last hole. Ooh. May 22. Yeah, they released the Bubsy collection last year, I think, didn't they? Might have to look into getting that. I did get the sort of bonus credit for my Switch, so maybe I'll look into doing that soon. Okay, try to hit this down, curve it. Oof. See that for a clutch play? Okay. I don't know if I should use a 1 wood here, but I'm going to try it. Okay, that worked. Okay, so yeah, it was released back in September. And what have we got here? Try for par, I think. There we go. Well, I'm only plus 15, which is not comically bad. I mean, let's be fair, I am doing better than the default high score. Because the default high score was, what, like plus 28, I think? And this is probably going to go in the water, but let's try it anyway. And again, I will say this. I mean, graphically, this is quite good for 1984. Like, it actually, I think, looks pretty decent. Even with, like, not Mario. Because I don't think that is supposed to be a Mario. It's just supposed to be some other character who happens to have a mustache and looks slightly like him. But, okay, what should I do here? This is the problem, because you look at how thin the area is that I can shoot to. I'm going to go for the 3 wood. No? No? Okay, I guess that was fine. Even though the ball has landed in similar spots on other holes, and it counts as it ends bounds. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to aim this, but try slicing it a bit. Or hooking it. Yeah, hook is where it goes to the left, isn't it? Okay, I think I shot that a bit too far, but we survived. It is funny just how effective putting just outside the green is. Okay, so I think I beat the high score, let's see. Because the default high score was 100, and I got 87. So there we go, hole out. Transformers, hole out. Yeah, there we go. So there we go, that's all 18 holes of golf. I mean, I criticised this game, although, to be fair, for its time, not a bad game, honestly. Again, there are certainly other early sports games that have not aged as well. I don't have that one. I know what you're talking about, I don't have that cartridge. I think it has double dribble, doesn't it? But yeah, you know, actually, I'm going to count this as a victory, because I did beat the high score. I might not have gotten a negative score, but I got the high score, and I think that's good enough. You know, 87 shots. Call that victory. What else we got? You know, let's play Raid on Bungeling. This is one I'm going to play for like 5 minutes and be done. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like this game. So I might as well get it out of the way. This is one of the more interesting early Famicom games. It's just not one that I care for. So this game... Well, essentially you're going around blowing up enemy bases. Like, this game is weird. Like, it is... I suppose in certain ways it's maybe ahead of its time. It's actually more reminiscent of games like Desert Strike to me than anything else. And Desert Strike is a great game, but this, I never got into it. It just feels a bit too limited in terms of like how to play it. Because essentially the whole idea is, okay, you fly to these places, yeah. Fly to the bases as well, and blow them up. You just kind of press B, and then it says special. Also, this game does have a lot of flashing effects, so I do apologise for that. If you're epileptic, you might want to look away from this one. But, yeah, I never quite got what the special thing meant. This is one of those games, I never got into it. Not because I think the game's bad, it's just, it's not really for me. Again, to me, this has always kind of felt like the... just sort of weird precursor to Desert Strike, but Desert Strike is so good, it's kind of hard to go back to something like this. At least for me it is. Your mileage may vary. But there is some interesting stuff going on with this game, I will say that. That you got these sort of surveillance systems that the enemies have, and you're trying not to get spotted by them. Like, they will send enemies to try to kill you. There's a lot of weirdness going on. And they will send enemies to try to blow up your ship as well. Like the aircraft carrier that you saw at the beginning. Like, they'll actually try to blow that up. And you got to be careful. But this game, I think, nowadays is best remembered, at least for the Commodore 64 version, it is nowadays best remembered as the game... Okay, I'm just trying to take off, and it's not even working. There we go. But yeah, it's best remembered as the game where Wallwright messed with the map editor for the game, and then made, well, SimCity. Like, he essentially got the idea to make SimCity from using the map editor for this game. Because he did make this game originally for Commodore 64, and then Hudson brought it over to the Famicom stroke NES. You know, whichever system. And I couldn't even find the base I was trying to blow up. It just disappeared. I think I need to go further up. Get a bit of coffee. Well, go for it. But yeah, like, these planes, I never figured out what you're supposed to do with them, because they fly way too fast for you to be able to react. You just have to, like, pray that they don't happen to hit you. I don't know. I feel like there's certain ways to go about playing this game that I'm just missing. Like, I'm sure there's something to this game that I'm missing, that I'm just not quite getting. Because I can never get very far into this. I do remember getting to level 2, and I never got any further than that. I don't know actually what changes on later levels. Like, I think the map changes. I might be wrong, but... Also, the levels do loop forever as well, which is quite interesting. Yeah, so basically if this happens, you've got, like, the planes trying to blow up the base. And, yeah. This part of the game I'd never liked. It always just kind of felt like just pointless busy work to me. Yeah, it's like good luck getting your shots to hit. Like, I think the worst thing about this game is the fact that you can only have one shot on screen at a time. And it really feels like you should be able to have more. Yeah, Will Wright, he definitely wanted to make better games after this, I'll tell you that. Like, there's a reason why, yeah, like, why SimCity took off the way it did, and, yeah, this game just kind of faded into obscurity. Not that this is a bad game, it's just that, I don't know. Feels a bit, yeah, just kind of, well, really just outdone by better games that kind of do this, but do it better, essentially. I don't know, like, Hudson Soft, they were weird. They made a lot of great games, but the early games are a mix of good and things that were interesting, but don't necessarily hold up especially well today. Like, I don't know, like the Doraemon game that they actually just re-released as part of console archives or whatever it is. I don't think it's a very good game. Like, I've played through that game, but, well, I didn't play through it. I've played it. I never completed it, because I can never quite get my head around the game fully. But again, this is a game I feel like there's more to it than I'm quite grasping. Like, there's something. But I really wish I could have more than one shot on screen at a time. Like, your power is limited. Though it is kind of bizarre that you're... that, like, the background changes colour as you destroy bases. I don't really understand what that's about. And actually destroying the planes, it feels near impossible. Again, because of your lack of firepower, which is a massive problem. Again, I think it really is just the fact that you can't have more than one shot on screen. I think that's maybe the main problem that I have with this game, personally. I just wish I could do more. Like, I should just be able to spray the screen with bullets, like in, well, like in games like Sky Destroyer that I played earlier. Or just many other shooters that came out for this system. So we are destroyed a plane. Somehow. So I don't know if, like, maybe there's a way to, like, destroy all the radar, and that prevents the enemies from being able to spot you. But there's really no way to keep track of everything. Like, there's no in-game map. You kind of just have to guess where everything is. I think there was a Versus release of this game that actually did have a map. Or at least it shows you a map when you start. And it feels like they should have just had that in this version as well. Like, it should just be... I don't know if it was in the Commodore 64 version, but it's definitely not in this version. It's just, they just didn't program it in. It's like, again, why can't I just hold down the button to fire more shots? It's like, shouldn't this thing have a machine gun built in? I don't know. But yeah, we've got 2 factories left to blow up. Also, the factories take so many, like, things to kill. Like, so many. It's like, why? You gotta shoot the thing, like, 50... You gotta bomb it, like, 50 times. And there's really no sense of direction with the map. It's like, yes, I know I've got all these different islands and I have to blow things up, but... when I don't know actually where anything is, it doesn't really work. Also, yeah, my plane just randomly decided to land. Why would I want to land there? There's no reason to do that. You would only ever want to land on the aircraft carrier. Like, there's no reason to land anywhere else. So, like, why even have that functionality in the game? Because, like, literally all that does is get you killed. I don't know. I mean, the Mega Drive Doraemon game, I don't really think much of it, to be honest. Like, I've played that game. Like, I did beat that one, and... I don't know. I just thought it was, like, the platforming parts were kind of okay, but then you have, like, the mini-bosses, which are essentially games of chance, and... yeah, like, that, I thought really kind of brings down the whole game. And then you got, like, this, where your plane just blows up randomly. Yeah. To be honest, it's always mystified me why Hudson chose to port this game, because, again, I never hear anyone talk about it. Like, maybe this was popular in, like, 1984, but it sure ain't popular now. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, there were, like, countless, like, weird choices of, like, PC ports to console. Like, I mean, seriously, you look at the earlier days of the PlayStation 1, where they were just porting tons of, like, real-time strategy games, which is really just a bad fit for, like, any console. In fact, fuck this game, I'm resetting it. I can't even tolerate that game to play it for 1 credit. That's, like, the level we're talking at. I could play a full round of golf. Raid on Bungeling Bay is a game that makes me want to, like, smash my TV. So instead, let's play a game that I do like. I'm going to play some Hyper Olympic. I am trying to play these games for at least 1 credit, but there are some games where I'm just like, you know, I don't even want to play it for that long. It's too shit. Or too not fun, let's say. Now, here's a game that I do like. And I've beaten this game. Wait. Okay, there's no way I'm beating that high score. I'm pretty sure the high score is broken. Okay, let's just say if I beat the loop, I win. And, as I mentioned in part 1 of this stream, these controllers do not have turbo buttons on them. Like, they just didn't put them on here. And yet, I still got the world record because I'm just that good. See, this is a game I can do. Okay, apparently the world record is 11 copyright symbol 98. I'm sorry, what? Well, I got 8 meters 89. I don't think I'm beating 11 copyright symbol, though. That seems, like, did they just put the wrong character in there, or is that a bug? Like, do they break the scores? Because, again, I'm pretty certain the high score, like the default high score, is not meant to be that high. Because, like, how are you meant to do that? Okay. Also, yeah, I am just going to mash the buttons for this one. To be fair, I mean, playing this with turbo buttons, I feel is kind of against the spirit of the game, considering how these games work. Like, what is that world record? 15-6. Yeah, come on, give me 15-6. Yeah. See, I can do button mashing. You know, I can't do thinking, but I can button mash. Okay, somehow I got the world record with 12 seconds, apparently. I'll take it. Okay, this is hard to button mash when you've also got to press up. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So, yeah, this obviously is track and field, but I guess they broke the ROM. Like, look at this. The world record is 192 meters, which I'm pretty sure is physically impossible. Like, I'm going to try to do that for you now. Okay, so we're going a bit faster. Got it, 50 meters. I mean, that is quite funny. And again, I am playing this without turbo buttons. This is just me playing this legit. Okay, watch this, by the way. I like this. Yeah! That's what I like about this game. They just have all sorts of just weird Easter eggs. Yeah, I'd like to see her try beating 192 meters. Yeah, I will say, I mean, Track and Field might actually be one of my personal favourite NES games. I'm not sure if it's necessarily one of the best, but I do like this game. Oh. Yeah, I never quite understood this. But, no, to be fair, I'm not using turbo buttons. Even if I wanted to, this controller doesn't have them, so... So, yeah, this is just me going hardcore with the buttons. Yeah! You see that AI trying to cheese at the end, and it couldn't do it. Like, I'm just too good. It's kind of a shame that they didn't just put the regular NES version of Track and Field on here, though, because that really is like, the definitive version, I think. Where they essentially combined Hyper Olympic and Hyper Sports into one game. It's kind of a shame that that's not on here. And instead we've got, like, the original separated versions. Because you can't even select the events in this one. Like, you have to play them in sequence. So if you get stuck on a particular event playing it on this console, you can't just skip it and go to the other events, if you want to do it that way. And, yeah, it's unfortunate. As much as I like these games, this isn't the best way to play it. It's kind of the thing. Again, track and field, like the NES release of this, just, yeah. Again, one of my favourites. I do have that version on a multi-cart somewhere. So I could just play that if I wanted to, but we're doing it on this console. Ooh. There we go. Fell over and still beat the computer. I don't actually know what happens when, like, does the qualifying threshold go up with each loop? I think it might. Yeah, because I can see it's 70 on this one. I think it was 60 before. Or 65. But I made it. By the way, I am going to quit this game after the second loop, just because I will get carpal tunnel syndrome and you'll never hear from me again. So yeah, probably best to, like, terminate this game after the second loop and then move on, because yeah, this is the type of game that you do not want to play for too long. Like, I've played this game quite extensively in the past, like trying to get all the achievements and that, and couldn't quite do it, but not for lack of trying. But I think we'll call this one a victory, considering, you know, I got 98 meters 40 without turbo buttons. See, this is the one thing I'm good at, is playing games, is being able to mash the button. See, I can't play Raid on Bungeling Bay, but I can do this. So I'm going to call this victory number 15. But we're going to deliberately lose on this loop, just because I don't want to... Again, I don't want to get carpal tunnel syndrome playing this. As much as I like this game, there's only so much track and field you can play, especially this version, because the other events that they have, they do break up the button mashing with the other events that are in, well, Hyper Sports. I like this. It's just, yeah, I'm just going to stand here. Yeah, welcome to Corp 0. Yeah, see, this is like me in real life trying to do this. I wonder what happens if I just let the timer run out. Oh, okay, I guess it just times out after 40 seconds. They kind of figured, well, you know, if you get that far and you haven't finished, then the buttons are probably broken. But yeah, there we go, Hyper Olympic. I'll probably have to take a quick break before I go to Hyper Sports. Let's play something that doesn't require button mashing. Yeah, okay, what else do we have? Joust, Lode Runner. Yeah, let's play a bit of Lunar Ball. Because this game's virtually impossible. So I may as well just see how far I can get. Here's the thing. So this game does actually have an ending, but there are 60 levels. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is no chance in hell that I'm beating all 60 in one run. You got to do them all on one set of lives, and you get game over at any point, that's it. So let's turn the friction down. Let's turn it to 25 just because I can. Let's see how far I get. Okay, let's do this. Well, may as well pop 4, get myself off to a start. There we go. Yeah, I like this game a lot, to be fair. Like, this, I would say... I don't know if this really qualifies as a sports game. Because when you think about it, like, this... Is this a sports game? I don't really know. I guess in a way it kind of is. But it's less pool, and it's more like an amalgamation of, I guess, golf and billiards. Like, when I say golf, I do specifically mean crazy golf. Like, it's got that sort of going on a little bit. Okay, I don't know what to do here. Yeah, I'm just gonna just whack the free. Oh, okay, I got a bit lucky there. Yeah, so I'm kind of having to do this by eye. A bit like in golf from earlier, but yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, I would actually maybe consider this to be one of the hardest games on the console. Just because you have to beat all 60 levels in one run without getting a game over at any point. Trying to get the angle down for this. There we go. Oh, got an extra life too. Cool. I do know if you get a perfect, you get some sort of points bonus. I'm not sure if points really do anything in this game, but it's kind of a cool thing to have. Okay, this is where the game, yeah, it changes things up a bit. Because you look at the level design, and, you know, like, the first level was basically, yeah, just a pool table, essentially. But then you get to level 2, and, yeah, this clearly, well, it looks more like a crazy golf hole, but with more, but with, like, multiple holes and multiple balls. Like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have put that much power on the ball, but whatever. Gotta live with my choices. If I hit this straight, will it work? See, this is kind of what golf needed. Like, just the ability to hit the ball in any angle you want. This more or less has that. Ugh! Nope, that didn't work. Fine, I'll hit an angle. No, I hit at the wrong angle. Great. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not good at this game. Despite what that first level may have looked like. Is this going to work? No, because the ball did not bounce the way I wanted it to. It's kind of funny, there's no... you can't put any spin on the ball or anything like that. Again, like, there's elements of billiards about this. But it's kind of funny because even though they called this Lunar Pool outside Japan, I wouldn't really consider this a pool game, to be honest. Like, this isn't really pool to me. Like, this is just, yeah, just kind of like a mashup of sports. And what I'm supposed to do here, I don't know. Like, yeah, because this is kind of a bad spot. I always get stuck on trying to pop the free ball in this. I never figured out how you meant to do this one. I feel like this is the kind of game that I maybe want to try playing through, like, in softcore mode. Like, for, like, the, like, retro achievements, like, try to see if I can get a couple levels in hardcore mode, and then just do softcore mode for the rest. Ugh, okay. I think you do get an extra life after you complete each level. This level, I don't remember how you do it. Because, like, you see where the 1 in 6 balls are. I don't remember... how big is the crosshair compared to the ball? I think maybe I want to do it like this. There we go. So, we're off to a start. Not necessarily a good start, but it is a start. But yeah, how you meant to get the 1 in 6 balls without scratching, I don't know. Okay, got a bit of luck on my side there. I was about to do a Thompson Twins thing, but I'm not going to. Okay, let's see if this works. Nope! That did not work in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I kind of want to play this 2-player now. But, yeah, good luck doing this. It's like, okay, how am I going to get the 5 ball in now? Probably not like that. Oh, no, that somehow worked. I'll take it. Yeah, this is the part where I got stuck. Okay, let's set to, like, medium power. Okay, that did not work. Almost scratched, but not quite. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little trick shot here. Watch this. Probably gonna scratch, but yeah. Because the ball, like, rebounds really weirdly off corners. It's kind of like the #1 thing that always mystified me about this game. Like, it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do here? Like, this level, I remember, I want to say is one of the hardest levels, or it's certainly one of the ones I struggle with the most. Especially when it's not really obvious how far the power meter is going to take you. Like, again, just kind of feels random. Like, it's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to do this? Like, yeah. Yeah, there is a Z level. I don't know. This feels like one of those games where the difficulty of the levels feels more random than anything. It's not like... It doesn't really scale up in difficulty like most games. It's more like Arkanoid, where the first 2 levels are like somewhat easy, and then the third one is just super hard for no reason. I don't know. I like this game, but I'm never going to beat it without tool assists. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll probably come back and do the rest of the games on this page, and see how we get on there. My eye is twitching a bit, probably because of a lack of sleep. But I did get more sleep tonight, so I don't know. Maybe it takes time to go away. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute, so don't go away. And we're back. Okay, are we ready for some hyper sports? Because I'm hyper and I want sports. And for some reason they took out the 2-player mode, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you even bother doing that? Like, could they not get the 2-player working on this? Because they got it working with all the other games on the collection that have 2-player. So that's just, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Also, the world record is 62,000 points. Is that even possible? I don't think it is. Okay. Now, here's the real challenge. Okay, firstly, okay, whoever this is has a score of 3Q 3,938. Ah. Yeah, I mean, they obviously included these versions of the game just to take up an extra spot on the menu, but I'd rather just have an extra duplicate and just have track and field. Also, I'm going to have to shut up here and actually focus on this event, because this is the hardest event in the game, and they make it the first one for some reason. Ugh, I think that... Wait! The qualifying is 22,000 points? How is that even possible? It's supposed to be like 2,500, isn't it? Is this version just broken? Because I'm pretty sure it's not meant to be that high. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a theory and say that, yeah, this one might be a little bit broken. It's a shame, because I really like the Hyper Sports events, but considering, yeah, that whoever put this version on the system managed to break the game, I don't think we're going to be seeing any of the other levels. Actually, I might try Game B and see if it's working on there. Like, maybe the qualifying numbers on there actually make sense, but let's try that. Yeah, I kind of figured that those numbers were incorrect, because, again, I do remember the qualifying, at least on the first loop, it's supposed to be 2,500, but, yeah, clearly they broke it once they made this. Yeah, it's like they added an extra, like, 20,000. Like, I don't think you can even get 20,000 in this, can you? Okay, I think we're going to have to put this one down as a failure, but not necessarily a failing on my part. It's really a failing on whoever made this compilation and put a broken version of the game on this. That is a disappointment, because, again, I like track and field, and I'd love to be able to play it on this. Unfortunately, I'm only going to get to play the first 5 events. Yeah, why they took the 2-play mode out, I have no idea. Just whoever made that ROM was clearly intent on breaking the game as much as possible. Okay, let's play some Ice Climber instead. So, yes, this game was 32 levels. I can tell you right now, there is no chance in hell I'm beating all of them. Ice Climber is a bit of an odd game. I don't know. It's... I suppose it's a bit like, I don't know, golf or pinball, in the sense of... This is a game that would have been better when it was new. Also, yeah, this is clearly the original version before they replaced the seals, because they were like, yeah, maybe don't have a game where you can club seals, because that's kind of not cool. Yeah, like, there's a reason they changed them for the other versions. I'm just saying, is all. Yeah, Ice Climber, it's one of those games where, depending on who you ask, it's either a classic, or it's, yeah, just not. It's either a classic or it isn't. This game gets very mixed opinions. Personally, I'm not really a fan of this one. I don't know. Like, it's not a bad game, but it's antiquated. Let's put it that way. Like, this is a game where, I don't know, like, really the problem with this game is just the controls and the collision detection just feel wrong. Like, but to be fair, like, it's the kind of thing where it feels wrong because of the countless, like, platformers that came after it. Like, obviously, this was out, you know, before something like Super Mario Brothers. You know, this was, I think, was it January 1985 this came out? I can't remember, but it would have been around that time. So this would have come out months before Super Mario. Like, really the only other platformers you would have had on the system at this point would have been games like Donkey Kong. So having, like, a scrolling platformer like this wasn't really conventional at the time. So it's definitely... Ooh. Yeah, I forgot about the controls being a bit slippery. But to be fair, I mean, the game is literally called Ice Climber. You kind of expect it. But, yeah, suffice to say, Nintendo, they don't really tend to re-release this particular version of Ice Climber. They tend to go for the Western release because, again, clubbing seals, not really something you want to promote in your game nowadays. I don't know. I mean, this game is interesting. It's a good two-player game, I think, but you have to find someone who's willing to, like, tolerate this game's kind of weird sort of feel. I think. That's really what it comes down to. It's, yeah, it's... I kind of like this game, but if you were to ask me, like, my favourite NES Famicom games of all time, like, this wouldn't be up there. Like, Track and Field probably would be. This one, not so much. This one's okay. I don't mind it, particularly, actually, but... I kind of wish it was modernised a bit. Because I think actually more than the controls, it's also... yeah, more than that. It's actually... the way the collision detection just feels off. Like there. Like, it looked like I hit the platform, and yet I ended up just going through it. I never quite understood that. I do like this, though. Like, you got conveyor belts in, like, northern Canada or whatever, wherever this is. I mean, you're playing as Eskimos or Inuits or whatever they want to be called. I actually don't know what the preferred term is. Here we go, playing as good old Popo the Ice Climber. You know what? I've got to be honest. I really like Smash Bros. Melee. Like, Smash Bros. Melee, say what you want about that game now, the scene or whatever. That game was the shit back in the day. I'm sorry, but it was. I think it's the Smash Bros. Game I've played the most. Like, more so than, like, any of the more recent ones. Can I make this jump? I think I can. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I never quite got the collision detection, because it really does look like sometimes you should land on a platform, but instead you end up just falling through it. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to get there anyway, I might as well just fall off the level just because it's funny. I feel like I might like this game more if I, like, grew up with it. But to be fair, I really did not grow up with the NES. Like, the NES, it was before my time. I mean, the only NES games I really got to play in any form were things like Double Dragon on Game Boy. I mean, you've got annoyances like this, where you have to get up this platform, and then, but yeah, the platforms keep getting, like, regenerated. Yeah, I'm just gonna casually slide to the left. Though actually, to be fair, I'd still say this is one of the better games I've played today. I mean, God. Especially when you put it up against something like Raid on Bungeling Bay. Like, that game just makes me want to, like, smash my... It, like, makes me want to punch the TV screen. And if a game makes me want to do that, it failed. This game doesn't do that. So, you know, gets points. I will say, by the way, this game is actually quite difficult, too. Yeah, just weird collision detection like that, where... Because I actually just pressed the A button. I wasn't pressing left or right, but my character, like, just went up the screen. Okay, I don't know why I hit that ice thing. Probably would have been better off just keeping that, but whatever. But yeah, you got a lot of levels like this, where the platforms that you have to jump on move really fast. And there's no ground. Like, there's no solid ground here. There we go, I made it. Eventually, if you spend long enough on one level, like, what is it? The polar bear with the sunglasses, like the cool one, eventually appears on screen, and then like, moves the screen up a floor, and if you're on the bottom floor, then you die. Ooh. But slide off there, but didn't quite. You know, I don't think you actually need to collect all these things. It's more just about getting to the end. I do like the soundtrack for this game, though. That's a bit of jazzy number. And that's good. Though this is really a game you want to play 2-player. Like, as a single-player game, it's just not quite as good. But to be fair, that's true for a fair few of the games I've played so far. Like, some of them just really excel with a second person. Like, Double Dragon 2, I'm sure, is like that as well. Ugh, okay. Like I say, there is no way I'm beating this game, because, again, there's 32 levels. And trying to beat 32 levels of this, good luck. Like, it's certainly on one credit. Ooh, okay. Don't know how I made that, but I'll take it. I feel bad every time I hit the seal, but the game kind of makes you do it. I'm not sure if I'm not sure about this game's ethics. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe we could do a bit of questioning. So yeah, I'm just going around just hitting all these cute animals. Because that's what they do in their spare time. Though I suppose they also have to kill them to eat. Here we go. Good old bonus stage. Yeah, let's try to get all the... Like, what even, like, are half of these vegetables doing here? Like, you know, I don't think turnips grow in the tundra. Maybe I'm wrong, but somehow I kind of doubt it. But yeah, we got turnips. We got corn on the cob. At least I got that one. Oh, Clue Land. I guarantee you that game is on this. I might have seen it on the list, actually, but, yeah, I'm fairly certain that's on here. Like, pretty much all the, like, really early Nintendo stuff is going to be on the system. Okay, I didn't know which way that was going to go. I'm not sure if there's a way to tell. Like, maybe there is, and I just didn't notice it. And, yeah, how you meant to get up this bit, I don't know. Let's do it this way. There we go. Okay, try not to get killed by the ice thing. It's kind of similar to trying not to get killed by the fire in Mario Brothers, like the original. There is a feel to this game, to be fair. Like, once you get the feel down, it feels pretty good. Just about. Okay, this is where I'm probably going to start losing a lot more lives, too. Ugh. Yeah, again, the collision detection always felt off in this. It's just like half the time I go through the platform when it feels like I should have landed on it. And then other times it's like I bounce off the platform when it feels like I should have gone through it. It's just, I don't know. Like, it's consistent, but in a way that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know. Hey, at least we got some nice pumpkins with faces on them. Welcome to the Halloween stage. Oh. Yeah, it's like there. Like, it looked like I just went through the platform rather than actually landed on it. Like, look at that! I clearly was on the platform! Ugh. Ugh. The fact that your character just constantly falls through platforms is kind of a problem. Ugh. Although, again, as far as, like, games of this era go, it may be one of the better ones. I'd have to think about that, actually. I'd have to compare it to what else was out at the time. Because I know Pac-Man was out on Famicom by this point. And Pac-Man is definitely a better game, because it's Pac-Man. Though, for what it's worth, there is also the Versus version of this game, which I want to say is better. Just got a bit more flair in the presentation, let's say. I don't think it played any better, though. Like, it was one of those things, they improved things that didn't really need to be improved, and then didn't improve the things that needed working on. So they prioritized the wrong things. It's like, yeah, I like the nice little graphical touches you've done. Shame you didn't fix the weird collision detection of the original. And I think even, like, right on Bungeling Bay, they actually made some effort to try to fix the mechanics of the original. Even if it was just adding a map screen, it was at least an improvement. Ugh. By some miracle, I made it. I was fully expecting to just get killed on that and have to just respawn on the other floor. You can really hear, like, the jump sound from Mario in this as well. Ugh. Yeah, and sadly it doesn't spawn you on the higher floor as well. But you gotta start all the way here. Ugh. Yeah, see, this is where the game just gets super hard. Like, once they got, like, the really fast-moving conveyor belts, you know you're in trouble. Okay, somehow I hit that enemy from behind. I don't know how, but I'll take it. Ugh, we made it. I don't even know what level this is. This is like level 8? Or level, like, 7 or whatever. I wasn't keeping track. I'm just like, I know I'm on level something. And now I'm stuck on the bottom of the screen, and I'm probably not going to win at this rate. Okay. Okay, that was level 8. I'm a better counter than I thought it was. But hey, I got through a quarter of the levels, that's not too bad. You know, considering how I have been in some of these games, I can at least walk out with my head held high with this game. A little bit. But yeah, then you get to levels like this, and I'm like, okay, well, how are you supposed to do this? Like, this might be more doable with a second person, but, like, doing this on your own, it's not happening. Like, look at this. Especially when they, like, constantly have enemies spawning to kill you. It's a wonder anyone lives in the Arctic, if this is what they have to deal with. Like, you couldn't just move to, like, Acapulco and call this whole being an Eskimo thing quits. That's what I would do. Like, how is anyone supposed to do this? Like, without a second player, it's, like, virtually impossible. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, enemies spawn in such a way that I couldn't possibly hit it. Yeah, I think that's the problem. You get to level 9, and then the game just suddenly becomes impossible. So, yeah, also, you can pause on the score screen. I don't know why that's a functionality that they have. It's just kind of pointless, but whatever. Okay. Joust. Okay, here's a game that's probably going to take like 1 minute, and then I'll just get killed and move on. Because I'm going to say for the record, I was always rubbish at Joust. I can never get very far in this at all. So, yeah. This one's going to be quick. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. Like Joust is one of those that often gets cited as like one of the all-time classics. I was never huge into it myself. Yeah. As I say, maybe it's just because I'm rubbish at it. I can never really get anywhere, but... Though, to be fair, I do want to say there are better versions of this. Like, the Atari 7800 version is a better version. If you want to play Joust on a console at the time, you probably want to go for that one. But, I mean, this game essentially got turned into Balloon Fight later on. And Balloon Fight, I gotta be honest, is kind of just a better version of this, in some ways. I hate to say it, but that's just how it is. Also, yeah, thanks for spawning me right on top of the enemy. I appreciate it. Yeah, of course I'm going to get the classic tactic of camping at the top of the screen. I don't know. Does that, like, make the enemies more aggressive if you do it like that? Like, getting the options in Gradius? Actually, this is another game that's probably better with a second person. Because I think this does have, like, two-player, like, simultaneous play. Yeah, basically if that thing shows up, you just die. Like, there's nothing you can do there. Technically you can, it's just that I'm not good enough to. Again, I would rather just play Balloon Fight, personally. Just because I can get further in that game. Yeah, and that's, yep, that's as good as I've ever been at Joust. Suffice to say, not one I tend to go for very often. Yeah, let's play... I'm going to save Lode Runner for last, actually. Let's play some Macross. Ah, yes. To start push. Okay, what do I push? It doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to push. I'm pressing A, I'm pressing B. I'm pressing up, down, left, right, select. Ah, okay, here we go. Press the start button. It works. Didn't tell me to press start, it just said to push something. Push the console, maybe? Okay. Enough messing around. Here is the classic. Yeah, here's the classic game. Macross, also known as Chojiku Yosai Macross. I think that's the full title. Actually, it's probably a longer title than that. It wouldn't surprise me. Also, I'm going to go into this form just because I don't have to mash the button to shoot. You know, considering that I don't have turbo buttons, I'd rather go for the one that doesn't force me to use turbo buttons to get anywhere. Here we go, the half ship. Well, the music sounds fine, at least. I don't know why the title screen is basically missing, but yeah, this game is basically just one level that loops forever. So, I feel like beating this one isn't going to be very hard. This is where I'll proceed to mess up somehow, but I think as long as I beat this level and get a couple of kills, I should be fine. Because you see how quickly you rack up points in this. Like, you kill an enemy and it's like 500 points for even like the most basic ones. And it's not like... I mean, you actually get a surprising amount of health in this game, too. Like, you look at the amount of hits I've taken, and I've barely taken any damage. Though, granted, this game does get quite hard on the later loops. Well, the music sounds fine on here. Like, I'm not noticing any, like, weird desync issues, so I think we're okay. Here we go. Also, you can turn left while shooting. Now, I never quite figured out what the point of that is. There we go. Ugh. Okay, so I think the flashing screen should be okay on here, because it seems to just stay on one colour. Wait, what happened to the graphics? Because I didn't really notice much there. Oh, 800 points to go. One round two. By the way, if I press select, it does that. There we go, now I've got the high score. This game is okay. I think really the problem with this one is that there's just not enough to it. Like, because it is literally just the one level looping over and over again, but it's a little harder each time. And that is a bit unfortunate, I would say. I don't know, it kind of maybe wish there was like a second level that had like different obstacles or enemies or whatever. Grey shading? I don't know. Maybe it's an issue with the colour palette on the system. Maybe the blacks and greys are a bit off. Which is kind of odd, because other than that, the colour scheme, like the colour palette they have on this console seems okay. Also, it is kind of awkward that you have to use the select button to use the missiles. So, like, yeah, so press select button, it does that. By the way, you do not want to be going super fast on this bit, because they've got these mines that you have to avoid, and the hit detection on them is kind of off. If you come within, like, 3 feet of them, they just go off, and then you can take damage. Which feels a bit awkward. Also, you note that the health does deplete a little bit gradually. I think it does that regardless of whether or not you're shooting, but I might be wrong. Yeah, firing like a stormtrooper. Yeah, actually I see what you mean. The colour does seem a little bit off. Oh, okay, I didn't want to do that yet. I messed up. Now, what's really annoying about this is the fact that if you die, you have to redo the entire level again. It doesn't just restart you on that last bit. Also, I seem to recall there's a trick to this game. Like, if you do this, like, no enemies can hit you on the early levels. Like, it's weird. But look at this. I'm like, you know, I've effectively beaten this game already. I might as well show this off. I do like the theme. I will say that. Like, this is, like a rendition of, like, the actual Macross theme, isn't it? I gotta be honest, I don't know much about Macross. Like, my knowledge of it pretty much comes from this game, not really much else. Like, I'm not really an anime person. It's not really something I've ever gotten into. Not because I don't like it, but I just couldn't be bothered to, really. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the colour palette might be a bit off. I don't know, like, the NES Famicom is just generally weird when it comes to black and grey anyway. Also, the missiles, I gotta be honest, are not very effective. Because they just seem to pass through everything. Or just actively dodges its target. Yeah, like, you know, it's like the thing I have to attack, and of course they go the way to not hit it. So, yeah, they're almost pointless. There we go. Fun fact, by the way, this was actually made by Namco, I think. But it wasn't published by Namco. I think this was, well, effectively published by Bandai using a pseudonym, I think. But also, yeah, here's where the enemies start using tons of missiles. So, good luck. Also, it seems like if the enemies crash into you, they actually do a lot more damage, so you're better off just avoiding them if you can. I will say this, the Famicom definitely had better shooters out by this point. Like, you compare this to something like Star Force, or possibly even something like 1942, which wasn't a great version, but had a lot more going on. Well, maybe not a lot more, but it had more going on. Like, there were, I think, 32 levels, and then you beat the 32 levels and you win. I do like the explosion effects in the background, though. I always thought those look cool. Oh, give me that. Ugh, didn't give me all my health back, but I'll take it. Don't know how I'm going to avoid that. But sure. See, these things, yeah, avoiding them just feels like chance. Just because the missiles go all over the screen. Just kind of, well, hope you're not in the line of fire. I guess maybe I could use my own missiles, but yeah, the enemies don't really appear on screen often enough. And there aren't really enough of them on screen at any given time. Like, you notice that, like, the missiles either missed the enemy or just went right through it. I don't think it actually did any damage, which is kind of a problem. Oh, now they have turrets. Oh no, not the deadly turrets. Actually, I kind of wonder if that trick I was doing earlier works on this level. Because I think eventually it stops working, but I can't remember. So, is it just me, or did they increase the time limit here? So I could have sworn it was like 30 on the previous levels, and now it's gone up to 40. Which makes me think that the levels get longer, or like that bit gets longer as you get further into the game. Not that you can necessarily tell, because it's just like a single screen looped over and over until you get to the boss. Yeah, like, I got a B, I think? I couldn't even tell what that does. Like, is that just bonus points, maybe? Yeah, because it's not letting me auto-fire, so... Okay, let's just see if just getting to the end of the level as fast as possible is the strategy. Also, the power-ups do seem to appear at random. You gotta hope that the health power-up, like the P, appears at an optimal time, I suppose. At least on these later levels, the like first level or two you can get away with it, but... But yeah, I gotta be honest, as far as early Namco games go, this is not necessarily one of their best ones. Again, it's just... there isn't quite enough to it. But, yeah, I think we'll put that down as a win in the win column. It's got a cool soundtrack, so it's worth playing for that. Okay, the final game on here, on this page, good old Lode Runner. Now, here is... I was going to say possibly my favourite game on this page. If we're talking about these versions, then yes, it would be. I think. This is a game I actually did beat once. And I think this is actually the NES version of the game rather than the Famicom one, because there's no brick border around these options. I think that was something they changed for the NES release, which is a bit odd. Anyway, yeah, Lode Runner. This is a game I have actually played through before, in my own time. I think there are 50 levels, and you beat them, and then it loops back to the first level. Like, pretty straightforward. But I like this game. It's a good time. Now, there is actually a really sort of cheap trick that you can do to beat this game without running out of lives, which essentially involves just pressing the select button when you're about to die. Because I think they basically had some sort of, you know, soft lock prevention thing. I'm actually going to deliberately avoid doing that because, well, for one thing, it's, even for my standards, that's a bit on the cheap side. And I don't want to be a complete punk when it comes to playing through these. Like, I'd rather just suck at these games rather than just cheesing them. Yeah, it's like I'd rather just do it that way. Also, yeah, you might notice these enemies are... they're actually just Bombermen. Like, from the game Bomberman. Okay. Lode Runner Legacy? I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know. Can't help you there, unfortunately. But yeah, as I say, I have played through this one before, and it is a good time. Now, as I say, if you press select, it actually just, it does this. It just allows you to just select any level you want, or restart the level that you're on. Again, I'm only going to use that if I essentially soft lock myself and have to restart the level, otherwise reset the game. If I'm about to get killed by an enemy, I'll just get killed, whatever. Oh, and the enemy just, like, respawned. Okay, that was just the game itself being cheap. I don't know what it is about these games today and just me getting killed by, like, the cheapest nonsense imaginable. It's like, oh, you died because the enemy happened to spawn on the exact spot you were on. Okay, that was just me being rubbish. I do remember the difficulty curve of this game is weird, too. I suppose a bit like Lunar Ball. Except in this case, probably weirder, because it's like they put all the harder levels near the beginning. Like, from what I remember, I don't know if it was just me getting better at the game, but I think it's actually more just to do with the difficulty of the levels themselves. Where they just kind of got... I don't know. It's kind of like they didn't rearrange the levels as they were designing them, like the order of the levels. It's like they designed the levels and then didn't... It's like they designed them one by one, and then never went back to try to rearrange them in an order where they make sense from a difficulty perspective. It's kind of just a case of, yeah, it's like they put this level near the start, and it's actually one of the harder levels in the game. Like, the last half of the game, from what I remember, those levels were all roughly at the same level of difficulty, I think, for the most part. And for some reason, they just put some of the harder levels near the beginning. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Again, it really does have that feel of, like the levels here, that it's like they're in the order that they were designed, rather than, you know, like a difficulty order, which would have made a lot more sense. Because, like, you look at this level, and you gotta do stuff like this. And, like, many of the later levels, you don't have to do that. So you gotta do some of the more, like, tricky things. Really, I'd say the one real problem that I have with this version of the game, other than maybe the somewhat arbitrary difficulty of the levels, it's really just the way the screen scrolls. Like, the fact that the screen scrolls at all is actually a problem. Because the other versions of this game, all the levels fit onto one screen. And, like, spacing them out like this, it just kind of makes them more difficult for no good reason. That's what it feels like to me, anyway. Also, yeah, there were, like, several of these games on Famicom and Disk System. Hudson made 2 of them, so of course they made this game, and then they also made Championship Lode Runner, which is kind of the same thing, except the levels are bigger and, like, 50 times harder. Like, I can tell you right now, that game, I've beaten the first level, and I've never gotten past the second one. Like, again, this game, I can beat all the levels, and I have done so before. But when it comes to... when it comes to the sequel, again, I've only ever done the first level, and could never get any further than that. It's a shame, because the levels do look interesting, it's just that they're super hard. And, yeah, good luck beating them. Also, yeah, trying not to get killed by the Bomberman in the process. Why they decided, yeah, these enemies, we're just going to put them in a different game and have them be the main character. I mean, we might as well. 1985, who cares? But yeah, this game is kind of the Bomberman sequel that no one acknowledges as such. And anyone who's ever played through Bomberman, like the NES game, will know what I'm talking about. No, it's fine. You know, I could probably take a look at that later, I suppose. See what's going on with it. I do like some of these level designs too. Like this one looks a bit like a ship to me. Okay, I don't know where the enemy respawned to, so I'm not going to risk it. Also, yeah, for some reason, if an enemy is like near a piece of ground that you're destroying, for some reason, it just like magically reappears. I never understood that. It's kind of weird. Yeah, see, now I'm dead, because the game doesn't let me dig if an enemy's near it. Again, I think really the scrolling is really the biggest... It's the game's Achilles heel. Again, the fact that none of the other versions have that, I think is really what holds this version back. Because the game was not designed for scrolling at all. Like, that's the problem. Like, because you don't know where the enemies are going to be half the time, because there's no radar, there's no map, or anything like that. Honestly, if it was me, I probably would have just tried to make the graphics like this, but make them at half the width. Because making the graphics wider, I think, was maybe a mistake for this game. Just like, I don't know. Some of these levels have like 4 or 5 enemies. It's like, okay, well, there's no way to keep track of all of them, because there's nearly always going to be at least one of them off screen. And you're also not going to know which ones are carrying loads and which ones aren't. It's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to know which one's carrying one? Like, the game doesn't tell me, and there's no graphical indication to tell me that one of them is. You just have to guess. Again, if I could see what all of them were doing on screen at all times, maybe that wouldn't be an issue. Well, I'm just going to spam this until I win. Yeah, and like there, like I obviously got away from the enemy and that game just randomly says I'll die anyway. doesn't really make sense. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't see Lode Runner 2 on this, or Championship Lode Runner, or whatever they want to call it, on this system. So, I might be in the clear with that one. I may not have to play it, which is just as well, because that game, it's a miracle if I can get past level 1. Well, that's page 12 done. What comes after page 12? Page 20. Oh, here we go. I seem to recall this page actually has some of the more interesting games on it. So, let's see. So, games 191 to 200. Let's, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got some big names on here. You know, all your favorites like Volleyball 2 and Volleyball. And, Chinese oh, no. Okay, I'm not going to do all of these games today. I might do a couple of them. And then call it a day. I'm going to veto Chinese chess. I mentioned this earlier, but there are board games on the system I don't know how to play. And this is one of them. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have a clue how this game works. If anyone knows how to play this game, well, don't bother explaining it to me, because I ain't going to have a clue what you do here. Like, look at this. So, this game essentially is a weird form of chess that I can't get my head around. Like, for one thing, the pieces are all exactly the same, just with different characters on them. Kind of wish it was like regular chess, where all the pieces looked... they were easier to tell apart. Yeah, suffice to say, don't really know how to play this one. It's like, okay, like... Okay, I guess that's the bishop, essentially. Yeah, like, I can't move this, but it doesn't tell me why. Yeah, it's like, you tell me how to play that, because I ain't got a clue. So, yeah, that's why I'm vetoing that one. Simply because I don't know what the rules are, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't want to play it anyway. I'm also going to veto Volleyball, because this game is horrible. Like, Volleyball... I was mentioning this earlier about these, like, early, like, NES... like, Famicom NES sports games. I'm going to tell you right now, like, golf, you could probably have some fun with it, especially with a second player. I'm going to tell you straight up, I think this is the worst of them. Like, this one just doesn't play well at all. Like, I get the concept, but it's like... good luck trying to figure out how to do anything in this game. Because... okay, like, here's the thing. You have 6 players, and they can all move inside, like, a tiny window, essentially. Like, okay, here's the thing. So there's, like, this window, like, this sort of invisible box that all of these players are allowed to move in. So... wait, can you not pause the game? Like, they couldn't even give you that option. Is the pause button just broken? Well, no, because I have to use it to start the games. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those games, like, I get the concept, it's just I don't think this version plays very well. Mainly because a lot of the time when I lose, or, like, whenever I give up a point in this, a lot of the time, it's because I can't tell which player I'm supposed to control. Like, okay, here's the thing. So, it's like each player, they kind of move in this sort of... they have this sort of invisible box they can move in. A bit like in... like there. Like, I was trying to control the player that was on the left, but it wasn't letting me. Like, I could only control the ones on the right. Like, it seems to just switch control of which players you have randomly, and there's no indication as to which ones you're allowed to control. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Like, again, of all of the, like, early, generically titled Nintendo sports games, I do think this is the worst of them. Like, this one is, like, the one that's just actively, like, just bad to play. Like, you put this up against something like Super Spike V-Ball, like, this gets decimated by that. Not only is it a lot easier to tell what's going on, but it just feels better. Like, here, like, I'm constantly losing because I can't... because either the game is forcing me to control a player that I'm not trying to control, or I can't tell, like, where the thing is. Like, I can't tell, like, which player I'm supposed to control to be able to get the ball. Also, yeah, the spiking just seems to work randomly. Like, sometimes it just does, like, a generic non-spike shot, and it doesn't really make any sense. Oh, and I should also point out, by the way, this is best of 5. So even if I were to play this match, I'd have to play another, like, potentially, like, 8 matches to get to a conclusion. They're realistically more like 4, let's be honest. But yeah, this is one of those games. It kind of reminds me of, like, early, like, 3D football games on, like, the PlayStation. You know, things like Actua Soccer, or Adidas Power Soccer, or whatever. Where they just have, like, tons of just weird sort of eccentricities that make them really hard to play today. It's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, you may have had the patience to learn this when it was new, but playing it now, you're just like, no. Also, yeah, by some miracle I actually got a point. I don't know how it did that, but yeah. So the computer's feeling bad, so it decided to just give up a point. It's like, yeah, we know that this game doesn't play very well. Again, I mean, I'm not going to fault the game necessarily. I think like an outdoor version of this, where you had like 2 players, would have actually worked a lot better. Similar to some like real sports volleyball, where each player has control of like 1/2 of the playfield. That generally worked a lot better than this. It was a lot easier to tell who you were supposed to control most of the time. Yeah, it's like, what happened there? Like, I tried to spike the ball, and then it just didn't work. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this one, because I just don't want to play that any longer. Like, again, best of 5? I don't think so. Just, no. You're not making me play it for that long. I can't even play that for 1 game. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it's like 6:30 right now. I'm probably going to do 1 more game and call it a day. Yo, let's play Thexder, just because I feel like playing Thexder right now. This will probably take a few minutes anyway. And we'll save the rest of the games for next time, so Super Mario and Tetris and all that, we'll take a look at those in part 5. So, oh, also I forgot that, yeah, this is one of those weird games that uses the A button to shoot. You know, unlike, well, basically every game that came out after this. But, like, even, like, 1942 used the B button to shoot, and that came out before this. So, I don't know. Also, yeah, good luck aiming anything. I did think that when I originally played this, I was like, it's just like this version of the game just isn't really good. I've actually got the like PC 88 version or whatever on, what is it, Egg Console on the Switch, where it's essentially emulating the original version of this game. And I don't know, like maybe I'm missing something, but I seem to recall that version actually being like super hard. But the thing is, that game is as hard as it is, mostly because of how inconsistent the frame rate is. It's just like, the game just seems to change frame rate based on, like, how many enemies are on screen. And it's like, I can never adjust to it. It's just, no matter what I do, I keep getting killed, because the frame rate keeps changing. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that's an emulation problem, or maybe there's a way to adjust that. I couldn't tell you, but I don't know, I can never quite get used to it. This version, I've played this version a fair bit, I've never been able to complete it though. This is Thexder. So as I say, this is the last game I'm going to do for today. I kind of like this game, but it's one of those games that's harder to control than maybe it should be. Mostly because your weapons just aren't very effective, like you look at this. Yeah, good luck hitting half the enemies. But yeah, and you look at stuff like this, where it's like aiming at the wrong enemies. Like, it's aiming at enemies that I can't actually hit, because they're on, you know, because you can't shoot through walls. Yeah, the soundtrack for this game is quite good. I will say that. I think it's better in the PC-88 version, or PC-98, whichever version it is that they've got on Switch. It's not this one. See, the fact that it constantly aims at like enemies that you can't possibly hit makes this game a lot harder to play than maybe it ought to be. I don't know. It feels like there should be some sort of aiming system in place where it like determines, okay, is this enemy in my line of sight? And if not, ignore it. Thankfully, there's no timer in this game. Actually, no, now that I think about it, there is. Yeah, there is an invisible time limit in this game. If you spend too long on a level, it just like spawns like 50 billion missiles and you just get killed almost immediately. Yeah, I just remembered that. So, yeah, a little pro tip if you intend to actually play this. Interestingly, this was actually Square's first Famicom game. Like, before they, you know, got into doing Final Fantasy and all that. Yeah, they started out, yeah, just putting out just various weird games. Like, they put this game out. They also put out, what is it, King's Knight? There's like a... Basically has kind of a fantasy theme, but it's actually just a scroll and shooter. And one that's tragically not very good. Like, I want to like King's Knight, but the game's just way too hard. Like, that last level is like near impossible. Well, made it to level 3, but I don't think we're getting any further. Especially since I used up my shield at the beginning because I pressed the wrong button. Because how would I know that how would I know that the B button is the one that shoots? Or no, how would I know the A button is the button that shoots, unlike basically every other game on the system. Anyway, yeah, that's Thexder. Again, I think there are 5 levels and 8 loops. So we'll just call it for that. Okay, so here are the other games that we're going to look at next time. So we've got Star Luster, we've got Super Mario. We finally got Super Mario on the swing. Tetris 2, Volgod 2, Wars, nice descriptive title, Xevious, and Challenger. So, yeah, we'll be back in part 5, possibly next week, to play these games, and hopefully I'll actually be able to complete some of them. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think this stream deserves this to close it out.
Quit your jibber jabber! You ain't hurt! You pathetic! Ah!
Anyway, yeah, on that note, hopefully next stream will be a bit less disastrous, and I'll see you next time, so take care.